You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Shark Tank After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Shark Tank After Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We need a quick moment of silence because Kristina Zias is back.
Thank you, guys. Here I am. Nice to see you all. I'm really excited about this episode. For the record, I wasn't going because everyone obviously missed me. You both.
But moment of silence is usually associated with being sad. We need like a woohoo! She's back in the house.
Thank you. That's she's back.
Yeah, that's way better than like, let's all be sad for a minute.
Thank you. Thank you, Steph.
Okay. We are back here doing our Shark Tank after show. It's episode 20. They don't really have names, but I'm Stef Z. I'm very, very excited that Kristina's back.
I'm Kristina, obviously, and I'm really excited to be back and loved this episode. So.
Yeah, and we just found out we were kind of neighbors, so that's exciting too. And then we've got Phil in the booth.
Yeah,
welcome,
Phil.
ladies and gentlemen. This was a great episode. It really was. I love it when they do these types.
I love it when they do these types too, and it was very so for those of you just tuning in and maybe missed the episode and just like to hear our show anyways, it was like a teenager's it was like young entrepreneurs, mostly teenagers, but there was a younger kid as well. So
and there seemed to be a pattern. Remember that? Like, wait, how old? They thought they were college age for the most part.
They all looked old.
They did, except for the little girl in the boo-boo.
The 6-year-old.
Yeah,
that was a little.
But for the other ones, definitely, and they carried themselves very well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, where are those kind of people when I used to need to hire people?
Right.
Like
they were like still in high school, so we weren't even looking at them.
And the crazy thing is, that's our competition.
Yeah.
Like those kids coming out with those entrepreneurial, like that entrepreneurial spirit and those ideas is like our competition.
And you honestly,
it's a little scary.
I feel like you learned a lot in this too. Is you have to really credit a lot of it to their parents who are encouraging them, who are taking out mortgages, who are giving them everything they got to help them fulfill their dream. And maybe sometimes not the smartest financial decisions, but that encouragement is really fantastic.
The encouragement's fantastic. I do think that, whether or not like entrepreneurism, I don't even know if that's a word, but I feel like I don't know, it's something I feel like to an extent is something in someone's blood, but it is also something that is coached. You know what I mean? And whether or not people give them money, it's that get out there, get your lemonade stand, get out there, do this, rather than like, when I went to I don't know if you were here, but I actually went to the Damon John Academy.
Right.
And one of my takeaways from that was he said something. He said, a lot of people do the 40-40-40. And I was like, what's that? And it was like they work 40 hours a week for 40 years to get a retirement that's 40% of their salary. And you know what I mean? Like that's also a different way of thinking. So anyway, okay, let's get right into it. First, we have Carter, who is 15 years old, who comes out with the Define bottle. What do you guys think about it?
First of all, I think it was designed beautifully.
Yeah.
It looks so good. And, I mean, that's something you want to carry around. You feel cool drinking it. And I live in West Hollywood where everyone is super healthy. Right. And I just feel like juices are, like, honestly, everywhere you go sells an $8 juice, and they're always sold out. It's just insane. So something like this would do so well. And I think I actually really liked it. I don't know if it's something that I would buy. I think it's a little bit expensive. It was $30, I believe.
Yeah, retail was $30.
And I lose all my water bottles, so it wouldn't be for me.
Here's the pros and cons, just overall, for me, and including him, is that them being so young, they execute really, really well to such a high degree, and especially this, him cold calling and doing all these things to get it in stores.
Right.
The only problem is, and I get a knock on this all the time because this includes me in that age bracket. People under 30 don't really have opinions. And so you're not going to be able to, really...
Wait, time out. You've lost me on people under 30 don't have opinions.
Meaning, you're not... Here's the thing. You haven't experienced enough to, you're kind of borrowing and you're learning. And then eventually, by the time you hit 30, now you can start really formulating your own and really expressing yourself in that way, for lack of a better term. I mean, I could go on about this and really kind of explain it, but for lack of a better term, that's it. Meaning, how it applies to this... this water bottle thing, there's a lot of competition out there. I know you guys are looking at me all weird. But there's a lot of competition for this thing, and all these young entrepreneurs, they're not creating something that's proprietary.
So what has nothing to do with them having opinions?
Facebook was created in college. Like there's
I understand. Facebook. Here's the thing. Facebook is like the Hitler anomaly. Like every argument that's ever started, bring up Hitler because it's what I mean. Facebook is an anomaly, and I get that. But
no, I get what you're saying. I just think 30 is a weird number. Like I had my business before I was 30. I know a lot of young people that own businesses before they're 30. So I just think it's a weird number. I get what you're saying. Like they haven't experienced a life. They haven't seen what works, what doesn't work. I'm just saying to be like before 30 that
you don't have an opinion.
It was just okay. You're talking to
but you get
women.
my point. You get my point where this product itself is it the most revolutionizing idea in the world? No.
None of them were.
Is it executed absolutely great? Yes.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I've silenced you both.
No, because for me,
it's because you don't want to hear our opinions.
Like
Phil.
I actually think that would be reversed. I feel like that's a good thing because how many ideas nowadays are actually revolutionary? Not a lot. So
they're mostly improving.
That's what I'm saying. It's mostly improving. So what he really did, there's an idea that was already there, and he improved it, and he made it beautiful. And for me, without the experience of the 30-year-old or whatever, like Phil mentioned, you wouldn't be around the block enough to make a product that would be executed and work properly. To me, that's actually a reverse in my head how that works. I love you a lot, Phil. I'm just saying.
Go hire 15-year-olds.
16, 17, 18. I don't want any illegals working for me. Okay. Now, back to this. The only other thing for me that rung, and I get sometimes I think of weird things, and I'm all for that. But I feel like the fruit that he had, and this is going to left field, and I get that. I feel like the fruit that he had was so perfect. And I feel like a lot of times fruit isn't that perfect. And when you make fruit juices or you make shakes from fruit, it doesn't have to be perfect. So if you have like a banana in there or like something that doesn't look as fresh as that orange did, that's not going to look good. Yeah, that was something that came up for me. It's like you have to have the perfect fruit all the time or it's going to look weird.
And for me, what I got from it was, I have to wait 15 minutes before I drink it for the flavors to set in. And also, to be honest with you, there wasn't that much liquid.
Right. It was, so maybe it could have been, and this is what we did with like the apps the past couple weeks. We're like, how can we make it better? I feel like if that would have been like a pitcher, like kind of like a Brita, but not.
Like a sangria pitcher almost, like where you put all the
yeah, like in the little middle, like something that might, and then you can pour it and
that's
go.
not, you can't carry that.
Right, but that makes something along with that you pour it into and you carry the thing. More ideal. Anyway, moving on. So he's done, in 4 months, they did $65,000, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
And you know, he said it was 50% online and 50% wholesale. And yeah, the whole like cold calling, this kid straight up walked into old Whole Foods and was like, hey, I got this product, I need a meeting. And that to me, like, I kind of got the goosebumps when that happened. I remember my first job, I wanted to work something in action sports industry, and I found out where like some of the offices were in Marina Del Rey, and I actually just walked in there with a resume and I was like, I want a job here. And I got this like bullshit job, like selling like sponsorships or whatever. But like eventually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, right. And it was like that kid, like to have the balls to do that at 15, like this kid's going to be a success, period.
What I thought he was really knowledgeable about, well, partially was about his web traffic.
Yeah.
Like Mark was throwing those questions at him and he knew that he got 2,000 hits a day online, that his conversion rate was 0.5. You know, Mark asked him, why is it that low? And that he couldn't answer. But still, I feel like that is a lot of information to know. He was very well prepared.
Right. And I like when he didn't know the answer, he was just like, I don't know. You know, he wasn't like a lot of people that come on there. And along with that knowledge of age, there's also that jadedness of age. So he was very like, just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that. And then, you know, the other thing for me was that, you know, I don't know. I really did like it. I'm with you with the 15 minutes. The fruit's got to look perfect. But, you know,
$30 is a lot for a water
$30
bottle.
a lot, and you don't really get to carry around a lot of water, like
Right.
you had touched on. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just
Fruit
kind
not
of
included either.
Right.
fruit not included.
Exactly. And it cost him a lot of money to get this going. His parents took out a mortgage. They've spent $300,000 so far.
Yeah.
I feel like Barbara almost had a heart attack when she heard that.
Yeah.
$300,000. That's a lot of money. And pretty much Lori, Barbara, and Kevin were out right away because there's a very similar product in Brookstone, which is obviously a huge space. So,
Well, Robert actually gave him a
oh
deal.
no, Kevin, sorry.
Kevin, yeah, and you know, Laura did. She said there's a ton of competition, a lot less expensive, like
Right.
you keep saying, you know,
$10, I think, at Brookstone or something like that.
Yeah, and Barbara was like, you know, she wants one, and I like to when the Sharks like when they don't want to invest, they're like, but I'll be a customer. Like I think
Right.
that's kind of cool when they do that. Mr. You know, Wonderful is kind of just like, I'm out. It's not gonna. There's no way for me to get my investment back because you know if he does invest, they have to. You know, there is this other capital that was already invested in debt. And then Robert, you know, said that he needed to do some research, but he was willing to make an offer. And he offered him $100,000 for 40%. And I don't know, man. I can't believe, you know, he counters.
He goes out and talks with his
Yeah.
parents. and
Well, here's
counters.
you know, I think this was one of the different situations because normally they'd be like, okay, you have an offer on the table, you're really gonna walk away, you know what I mean? But because it's a fine line that they really towed with them being kids, but where obviously it's serious money and they can't just invest their own money into anything just because you know the kid's cute, and they talked about that. But yeah, you're also gonna give a little leeway, like when the kid says, "Hey, I need to talk with my parents," like, okay, don't penalize him like you would anyone else for
Right.
that.
Well, it was interesting though because the kid Mark didn't say anything at this point, and they're like, "Don't you want to hear what Mark has to say first?" And I was surprised that he didn't take the minute saying, "Thank you for your offer. I would like to discuss it, but do you mind if I hear what Mark Cuban has to say first?" And he didn't. He just went straight out and talked to his parents.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird to me too. But you know, it's funny because sometimes just by like the mood of the Sharks, pretty much, it's like sometimes they'll be like, you know, why don't you want to hear what the other one has to say? Sometimes it's like make a deal right now. You know what I mean? Like it's always hard to play that one. So he goes out and talks to his parents, and his parents say, you know, that's too much equity to give up. So Carter comes back in and he counters with $100,000 for 30% of the company.
Right.
And Robert pretty much says no. He says he's out. So, and not even like, no, I'll keep it at the 40.
He's like,
He was
"No,
just like,
thanks."
no, all right, I'm out. This is the way it's going to be. I'm totally out. So Carter and Define Bottle walk away with no deal. I'm sure he's going to have more people buying the product considering it's online sales. And, you know, we tend to see after people are on the Shark Tank, they make a little bit more money.
Here's why I think Robert didn't go in on it, because it was evident of what the parents would actually end up doing. You know, I think because ultimately he's not of age to make these deals. So moving forward, it would have to, you know, it would a lot of be the parents' consent.
Yeah.
And I think Robert and the parents would disagree on some things. And,
I agree with you. I think
and
that's a
he
good
was
point.
not willing to deal with, you know, if he could deal with just him, I think they would get along well. And in 3 years, maybe they could revisit it, but not now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
and
that's
I
a
mean,
good point.
yeah, it's totally a good point because anything that's signed is going to have to be signed by the parents because it's like a guardian, like any business deals or anything. All right, anything else about Define Bottle before we move on?
Nope.
Phil, you good? Anything?
I'm
before?
good.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick moment, and I'm going to throw it back to you, Phil, in the booth to tell everybody about a new series, Chasing Maria Menounos. She's our executive producer here at AfterBuzz. She does many, many wonderful things for us. So you guys should all check out her new reality show. It's funny. She's amazing. Here's a little bit about it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to toss it to Maria herself.
Oh, you do that.
Tuesdays on Oxygen.
I'm Maria Menounos, and my life can get a little crazy. I host Extra. I'm an actor, producer, dancer, wrestler, and a lot of other things. I live with Kevin, my boyfriend of 15 years. Do you really love me?
I would say that I'm in serious like.
And my parents. Yep, I just said I live with my parents.
You drive me crazy.
You drive me crazy. My parents want us to get married.
You both love each other. Get married.
Kevin and I don't. I am going to get married when I want to get married. I think I want kids. Kevin definitely doesn't want them now.
This is being pushed on to us.
And of course, my parents wanted them yesterday.
This year you gotta have it.
And I have a house full of people counting on me financially. If I take my eye off the ball, everything can fall apart.
It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or wants us to do. It's what we want to do.
Everyone thinks that they know what's best for me, but I'm really the only one. I have got to figure things out.
Chasing Maria Menounos is so new. Every Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, starting March 18th, only on Oxygen.
That's right, March 18th. Everybody go watch it on Oxygen. Support her that supports us. It's all good.
It's Tuesday, right?
Yeah. I think we should have a viewing party.
That'd be fun.
Okay. So next up in the tank is Jason Lee, who's 16. He's a student. He wants to save the planet from electric waste with iRetron. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
iRetron. And he buys used and unwanted electronics. What do you guys think about this?
I think everyone's doing this. Literally, my boyfriend's uncle, Philadelphia, has this exact business and is making tons of money just buying people's electronics.
Wait,
They refurbish
and maybe it's
them.
because
They
me,
sell them.
I'm like a little not anti-technology, but I'm a little bit like maybe not up with
A little
it.
bit of country.
A little bit country. I'm a little bit old-fashioned in my own ways. I've never heard of this. I've got all kinds of old phones. Someone will buy them. Like, for how much? Like, that's what I was curious about. How much you gonna buy my iPhone for?
You know, I mean, I'm not buying it for anything. I don't want your iPhone 4 at all. But
I'm saying how much. Like,
I don't
if you're
know.
familiar
Here's
with
the
it.
thing.
I don't know.
International, because, right, you talked about third world countries and things like that. Internationally, you could sell them. You know what I mean?
Well, who's shipping it there? Me? You? We going? Let's go.
Well, that's you again, you can pre-buy. You know you're gonna have buyers for this,
right.
So if I know that, hey, in Guadalupe, Stef M wants a.
That's a person's name. Guadalupe.
Well,
You
whatever.
mean Guatemala?
I was just trying to be funny. Anyway.
I know. I love you. Go ahead.
Stef M needs an iPhone 3, and hey, in the United States, Stef Z has an iPhone 4. Why not? You know what? And it's gonna be cheap, but it's and to me, it's gonna be the latest and greatest, or because whatever.
Right.
And it just works, and so you're not gonna lose a profit. The only problem is, also, I don't see that much of a profit just in general for the people.
I mean, it's got to be pennies on the dollars, but if you do enough, I guess that's what they're saying.
I think
there's
it's all a
enough
numbers
demand
game.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So he comes in and he wants $100,000 for 20% of his company, and I don't know. I wasn't really interested at all in this.
They made 40,000 apparently in the last 12 months, but out of that they've netted 10.
Right.
Which is great for a kid of
But that's less than $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Profit.
I understand that, but again, it's not an investable business for a shark, but it's a great business for a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Totally.
I totally agree.
Totally agree. And I get it. Like, I get that, like, getting technology, with the things that are going on and happening around the world, I get getting technology, you know what I mean? Like, so that people can be connected and hear news and spread news is a really good thing. So I understand the whole concept and the business model, but yeah, it was just hard for me to see if what was he going to do with $100,000? Just buy a bunch more and sell a bunch more. You know what I mean? Like, it would take so much time to get that investment back.
My thing is that he didn't really touch on about how this is really green or making the world a better place. How it's like such an environmentally friendly business. And I guess you're recycling the phones, right?
Well, I guess you're not throwing away, and maybe like the the batteries in it and all that stuff isn't going to like landfills and stuff, but it's not like, yeah, like that's why it's not like, you know, you're recycling, you know, like Mountain Dew recycles bottles and makes clothes out of it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like something that's revolutionary in the recycling department for me. That was just, you know, just my opinion. It's been running for 2 years too. So in 2 years, he finally got $10,000 profit. So that's literally like, he's making like $400 a month, which is great for a kid.
He's 16.
Totally.
That's awesome.
Okay. Mr. Wonderful chimes in with his so much competition. And, you know, are you laughing, Phil?
I was coughing.
Oh, okay. I'm like, you okay? I hate that you're in the booth. You're so far away. And then Robert was kind of like, what's your passion? You know what I mean? Like he wanted more of a story rather than just like, maybe he saw somebody was doing this and wanted to do it, wanted to come out here and make it bigger. And I don't really feel like, did he have much of a story? Did he go there?
Didn't he have his immigrant story?
Yeah, he had, you know, Robert brought
totally
up the,
did.
you know,
He moved here from
85%,
China.
85% of entrepreneurs are immigrants or...
Right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that was, which obviously I feel like Robert, like they say in the credits, the son of an
always
immigrant
says
factory
that.
worker.
Right.
So he obviously is interested in people's backgrounds. What I found was the most interesting was why Mark initially said he was out. And it's because he said that $100,000 is too much capital for you. I think that there's the potential that you can get lazy.
Right. No, that's so funny. That's exactly what I had. That he started selling stamps, Mark's story, like when he was 16, and the investment would give him comfort, and it would make him, you know, not go out there and chase that. And part of the growing process as a kid is learning the chase, like learning, like you got to keep going. And at 16 years old, if someone hands you $100,000, and you can have this company that will be sustainable, but it's not going to be like, this isn't a company where seems like there'll be a lot of risks. There seems like, you know what I mean? It seems like it'll almost be like a flow chart. Like it'll just be like, okay, we buy this much, we'll sell this much, our profit will be this. Like it's very mathematical. Right. So I think that, you know, Mark thought that would be selling him, Jason short. And
especially because he is a kid, right? Think of how many people go in there and like, hey, this is my part-time job. Like, okay, you have to make this your full-time job. Now, not saying in his case that's what he needs to do. He needs continuous education and stuff like that. But as he grows, you know, he should definitely continue this on the side. And as it grows, when he becomes older and perhaps, you know, right after high school or, you know, after college, then say, hey, you know what? This has been going really well for me for the past couple of years. You know, I'm ready to make this my life and make this a viable business. Now you can do it full time.
Right.
And I think the money wouldn't allow for that.
Right.
And I also this is one of the cases where, you know, the kid's investable in, but the business not so much.
Well, that's exactly what Barbara said. And I think this was super cool because I feel like Barbara, one, doesn't invest that often.
No, she doesn't. She totally doesn't. I agree with you.
And I think a lot of times she gives these, like, they're always really nice, but she's the one who's always like, I will be a customer.
Right.
And so right now, obviously, she doesn't even care about his business at all.
No.
She just really is intrigued and inspired by him and just sees something in him.
And that for me was, I've never heard nor fathomed that they would ever make a deal like the deal. So she said that she'd give him the $100,000, and for 20%, but it was contingent and like the money as needed. So if you don't need the 100, I'm not going to just give you the 100 so you won't get lazy or comfortable.
Right.
But contingent that she gets 20% of any other business this kid thinks of in the next 5 years.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy, but it also will, like, this kid he just set himself up. You know what I mean? Like, and then Jason comes back and he wants Mark to be a part of it. And Mark says yes. Yeah. Like, after that whole come with him, because it was such a brilliant. Like, we always look at Mr. Wonderful for making these odd deals and this contingency and blah, blah, blah. But it was like such a great deal because it's going to give him the money, but it's also going to be like, okay, now do this, do that. You know what I mean? They really saw that he was that young entrepreneur. They saw he had talent.
It's going to light that fire under him. Right. And honestly, good for him for having the balls to be like, hey, Mark, listen, I am a hard worker. Get back in. And Mark took it.
I want to know what you guys thought. What do you think Lori's deal would have been? Because she's out on that idea. Barbara gives her spiel, and then Lori's like, I was not going to make the same deal. I was going to give you a much worse deal. Go with Barbara. What do you think it could have been?
I think it would have been like $100,000 for like 40%.
To be honest with you, I don't even think Lori would have given him a deal. I mean, she said that go with Barbara, but I don't.
You calling Lori a liar?
I'm not calling Lori a liar. I just think she has a way with her words.
I think she wouldn't have said that.
You know,
but I don't. I think it would have been something like 40%, like for double or something like that.
I mean, Lori is really smart, so she understands that this is just you
yeah,
buy and you sell, you buy and you sell.
Yeah, this is a numbers game.
She knows she's not gonna get rich off of it, but
right. But she could get it out to eyeballs.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Anything else about Iritron before we move on? Anyone?
Go green or go home.
I think Mark. He was really looking for Mark. And I'm glad he got Mark.
Yeah. I think it is. Like, I feel like I wish that we knew. I'm sure there's statistics somewhere, but I wish that we knew how many people go into like wanting, a specific shark and who that specific shark is, and then how many people want a specific shark and take a deal with a different shark. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I think all those numbers are kind of really interesting to me.
I was just randomly looking at their Twitter pages the other day. If you just look at their following, most of them have about 200,000. And then Mark has like 2 million plus.
Right, but he has that just because
the
too,
Mavericks
like the bit.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, obviously, but I think most people just know who he is. So
right.
naturally they're always Team Mark.
Yeah, but I think if you want to go on Shark Tank, and especially in season 5, you've seen the show well enough that you kind of
familiar.
Yeah. Right. Okay, moving on to Boo Boo Goo.
Boo Boo Goo.
Boo Boo Goo. I want to say Bubba Gump after I say Boo Boo
Goo for your boo-boos.
Goo for your that just doesn't sound great. So anyway, and I'm probably going to not say her name right, but Kiawa and her dad come in, and they have this Boo Boo Goo paint on bandage. You literally paint it on. It comes in bright colors. You paint it on your boo boo, and your boo boo goes bye bye.
Right,
pretty much. You like that one, Phil? They wanted $100,000 for 17.5%, and this girl is 6 years old. And the thing that I really, really love was the video. The video was super cute, dude. Even like it got me.
She was just adorable the entire time I was staring at her. She's really, really cute. And yeah, that little commercial video was fantastic.
Yeah, it was so great.
I think it's a cool idea.
I think it's a cool idea too, and I guess I wasn't aware that it's kind of already been done.
Right. Did you know that you don't use paint on Band-Aid stuff?
I don't use hot pink paint.
You're using like those Hello Kitty, like Disney princesses.
Actually, in the closet right now, there's Superman, Hello Kitty,
really,
and Mickey Mouse.
I knew it. See, I knew it. So that's what Mark was saying. He was like, kids want that stuff.
They do, and I'm 5 years old, so I want it too.
No, I think that's really cool, and I love that she has the colors.
I like the colors too, because that could be like, like the thing for me is like, can you draw, where I kind of question was, can you draw, like say the boo-boo's a line, like can you draw the line and like make that into like a star? Like can you put it on skin that's not affected by boo-boo?
I'm sure you can, obviously. Yeah. For what I got out of this, or what I was confused is that, are people using this because they hate Band-Aids? Because that's what she kept saying.
Well, I think because they peel off. So it's like how she was showing you in like the back of the knee. And there are some spots where Band-Aid just doesn't work.
Yeah.
No matter how much stick you put on it, it just doesn't work.
Right.
So anyway, Lori, chimes in. There's serious competition. What's your major advantage? And they had an answer. They had an answer that theirs wasn't flammable. And I thought that was super interesting. Like, how does all this stuff exist? And I guess these products exist, but not targeted as kids, at kids.
Right.
So that was kind of their distinction. And she thought that, they were going to have lots of problems struggling with patents. So she was kind of like, I'm out.
Right. And also that they had a waterproof sealant. That was, I don't think the other ones had as well. That's something that they had different.
Oh really? Mm-hmm. I thought the paint on liquid.
Yeah, I thought their only thing was
the flammable.
The flammable.
Oh, was it?
I think so. Yeah, I think the other ones can do that too.
Are waterproof as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Robert looks at Lori and is like, well, before Lori says she's out, he's like, can we sell this on QVC?
Well, they mentioned like, hey, we have some pending orders.
Right.
QVC. He just snuck that right in.
Which is kind of funny because I wonder, I mean, I get that Lori isn't like the only person at QVC, but I'm so curious when people like dangle that carrot that she doesn't know that already.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many products around QVC every single day.
But here's the thing. Even so, like, it's just like, okay, so you are now, you definitely want me to make an offer. Like, that's exactly what you're just saying.
Yeah.
Because there's interest of QVC, then I must be part of this deal.
Right.
Right. Which kind of, it makes it almost more appetizing for the other sharks because it's almost like they get, a piece of Lori with the deal without Lori. I mean, of course, if they got Lori, it'd be better. But you know what I'm saying? Like in their thinking. And then, Mr. Wonderful plays his, normal licensing card. Which, again, this would be, like, if they did have a patent and they did have this, to license this to, like, Johnson & Johnson or whoever, like, home run, But, without a patent, it's not really investable, is what he said. So, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then, oh, my God, I almost lost it when Mark asked her to do earmuffs.
Oh my God.
I love you, Mark. I really do.
He's like, do you know what earmuffs are? Do them now. Yeah. And I think her dad was like, she can hear everything.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. The dad was like sticking up for her, but I just thought that
I think it was a clever play on his part because I think Mark was going to go harsher than he did. And because no earmuffs were on the girl, he was like, oh crap, now I got to really tame myself.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, they kind of went pretty harsh on some of the people. But yeah, I get it. She was 6.
But he did say, he's like, my kids would not like this. They would sit there and they would scratch it off, which is something that I find really interesting because I feel like the reason that you put Band-Aids on kids are like so they don't pick at their scabs a lot of the times. I mean, obviously to stop the bleeding as well. And I feel like this is something that a kid and an adult, because I probably would too, would like sit there and like start picking at it. Don't you think?
I would totally pick at it.
Yeah. So...
And then I'd paint some more on brighter, and then I'd pick, and then I'd paint, and then I'd pick, and then I'd paint.
And then, like, forget. Why would you ever need a tattoo when
I have
boo-boo goo?
Goo for your boo-boo.
We should market it as temporary tattoos.
Exactly.
Boo-boo goo, we're coming after you.
I feel like this should be, they should have a Coachella stand. Like a little booth at Coachella for everyone who wants to paint themselves. Kawa, if you're listening, Coachella. From me to you, get at Coachella.
Oh my God, that's
just
amazing. Mark also brought something interesting to the table. He said that there was going to be a re-education that needed to happen. Like people would need to which I didn't really follow that much. I mean, people get this is like a Band-Aid. Like I guess it was to differentiate this product from a different product. But I mean, if it's boo boo goo, I mean, I feel like people would know what to do.
I think they would understand what it is. I just think, if I'm at an aisle and I see, okay, I need to buy some more Band-Aids. Band-Aid, great. Got my Band-Aid and I see like, oh, boo-boo goo, what the hell is that? I'm like, oh, whatever. It just, because it boo-boo goo kind of sounds like Neosporin and stuff, you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. At all. I mean, if I was going down the aisle to buy my normal Band-Aids and I saw this, like, cool label with, like, a hot pink top next to a cool label with a bright orange and a bright blue, and it said boo-boo goo, I'd be like, what's this?
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
I'm with Mark on this.
Okay. And then... Mr. Wonderful comes back around, and I was really, really shocked that he came back around, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I'm going to give you a deal, $100,000 for 25%, but it's contingent on that they get the patent.
Right.
Because then he's going to go nuts with his licensing machine that he's already created.
I actually think it was a very smart deal, and I'm really happy they took it.
Yeah, me too. I think it was a really good deal, too. So, anything else on Boo Boo Goo? Phil, you? Anything?
Nope.
All right, sweet. Moving along
to Squarespace.
What about Squarespace, man?
I have a Squarespace website actually.
Do you?
Yeah,
Tell us about it.
Okay, I think I pay $8.95 a month. It's super cheap. It's my KristinaZias.com, and I swear it is the easiest thing to use. You literally, there's so many great templates that you just input your information, input your photos. But my favorite thing is because I like to share a lot of videos. Like like this show, for instance, I can put it straight on my Squarespace by just putting the link in. And then it has like a nice picture. It's super easy to watch. You could do everything from there. It's honestly the easiest website I've ever had. And I have, I work a lot with WordPress too for my fashion blog. And WordPress obviously is very hard to use, WordPress.org, and the way you build it up. And Squarespace is just the easiest thing.
Really?
Yeah, you should get one.
You know, I've been needing to do one. I think I might. I think I might be hooked now.
See, in this
I don't
day
know if
and
that's
age,
what we're even supposed to talk about, but I actually really like the product.
No, yeah,
Well,
it's pretty much that.
I mean, you know, in this day and age, right? It's exactly what it's tough for people. You know, some people don't get started on a website, and a lot of people want websites. And if you don't want a website or never thought about it, you should, because hey, just in general, if you're going out for a job, it's a promotional vehicle for yourself,
Definitely.
regardless of what industry you're in. You could say, oh, you're an actor. No, any industry, you need it. And if you're a starting off entrepreneur, right, 50% of that kid's business is online. Mm-hmm. You need an e-commerce site, Squarespace.com.
Yeah, I had my little brother. He made one because he's starting to apply for colleges, and I'm like, honestly, if you have your own website, schools are going to look at you and be like, okay, this kid knows what he's doing. They're just going to take you that little bit more seriously.
Right. All right.
That's
I think
cool.
I might be signing up now.
And you know what? Christina's slightly overpaying because she didn't use the promo code Shark Tank, which you get 10% off your first purchase and a free domain. Unfortunately for Kristina, maybe we can get her that
What?
deal yet.
Excuse me. We need to renegotiate Squarespace.
Well, they do have 24 hours, 7 days a week support, so maybe we can squeeze you in and get you a promo code.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down because I'm going to forget. Promo
code Shark Tank.
And of course, what's nice about it is, I'm sure Kristina can attest to as well, is the fact that it responds to any device that it's on. So many platforms out there: Androids, iPhones, tablets, computers. Yeah. You need your website to look good on all of them, and it does.
Yeah. And while you're there, you might as well just check out mine if you want to just look at it to see what one looks like. KristinaZias.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Didn't you miss me?
I did. I really, really did. I mean, you know, it's been fun. Don't get me wrong. Me and Phil have, you know, we've grown closer, which I love. But you know, it's good that you're back. All right, moving along. We've got Henry Miller, who's 16 years old, with Henry's Humdingers.
That was like a really tough name. I wish he just like named it Henry's Honey. Like Henry's Honey or something. I can't say. It's such a tongue twister for me.
Henry's, you know,
Humdingers?
as soon as I heard Humdingers, I thought of the board game Cranium. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's honey with a kick. So therefore, you know, and he comes in and he's wanting $150,000 for 25% of his company, and pretty much what he's saying is, and I'm not a big honey fan that much, but I'm pretty much what I understand is that there's different kinds of sweet honeys, but there's not spicy. So he was making some spicy honey, which in theory to me sounds like it would be good. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Okay.
What the hell? Spiced honey?
Okay.
I would take that as a no from Phil.
Love honey. Like, it's sick. I'm going to just tell you guys that I used to literally eat honey by the spoonfuls. Like, in my house, I'm a Greek girl. Growing up, you don't use syrup. You use honey on everything. Pancakes, toast, whatever. So, for me, and I love condiments, too. I'm like, hi, can I have ketchup? Can I have honey mustard? Can I have ranch? And now I would be like, hey, can I have the garlic spicy honey? I just feel like it's a really cool, different condiment.
Yeah, I think it's different, and I think it's cool, and I've never seen it before. I just can't imagine what you would put it on everything, kind of like. I mean, put it in tea, like.
Can we take a step back?
I don't know about like tea. I feel like fries, maybe. Like chicken wings
in my mind,
and
all
honey.
you put honey on is tea. Like you put honey in your tea.
Think
in
about,
my
like,
mind,
honey glazed
Yogurt.
like cayenne chicken wings. I think I made that up. I don't know if people do honey glazed cayenne chicken wings, but I feel like someone does. And it's probably
maybe
good.
Henry's Humdingers
It's
does.
like sweet and spicy together.
Right.
Everyone loves that.
No, I get it.
I love this. I'm gonna get Henry to send us some. He doesn't know it yet.
I want to ask you this. He kept mentioning like bees are dying. Bees are dying.
Yeah, dude, it's a big problem.
Okay,
they
but
really
what
dying?
does this have to do with the bees?
He's trying to I don't know.
I do not know enough, but I feel like what he's trying to do is I feel like getting honey from the bees might be a good thing for the bees.
Right.
So just get more honey for
Well,
bees.
and it's because he's keeping the bees alive, and you know what I mean? Like it is like it's this crazy thing. Like he said. And like one of my friends had told me once when they had like a beehive in their thing and they didn't want to kill it. It's like if all the bees died, we have like 7 years and we're all dead. Which is crazy that it comes down to bees because
you understand. Okay, you understand this. All the bees are dying in the world.
AFTERBUZZ.
All the bees are dying in the world. Therefore, we must save them. And in order to do so, we need to take their honey and put it with spices and get it out into the market.
He's keeping the bees safe. It's not about.
I just don't get the story.
He's 16 years old, Phil.
He started this when he was 12.
Yeah. That's
I like Henry. I think Henry
I like Henry too, man.
Really cool in my book.
Yeah, I like Henry. I don't even need the honey. I just like Henry.
No, I want the honey.
Henry is the honey.
I love that Robert said something to me. I don't remember Robert's exact words, but I guess Robert's very close friend produces honey in Canada.
Right.
And is I guess one of the top distributors. And he's like, I wish I can get you in a room with him. Like, I wish the three of us could sit down together.
Yeah.
And
I think it, will probably happen.
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, in the past 3 years, he had $67,000 worth of sales. The last year was $50,000. So it shows that the majority of the sales is recent. Yeah. So it's going. Mark was like, why are you not making more? And his answer was he needs more income, which kind of shut Mark up right away.
Mm-hmm.
Mark was like, okay. Robert was like, who's running it? Can't go existing. What did you say? Can't go to existing honey. Oh, you can't go, like, who's running the factory? And the thing that was really interesting for me is apparently the way that you make honey, you can't go to the existing honey factories and just add spice because it will, like, do something. Like, it will screw up the process of somehow, which I didn't really understand, but it was something that you couldn't just, they would have to create a new whole process to putting the spice in. Like, you can't just go to Bumble Honey or whoever makes honey.
And add it in, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Wonderful, kind of made his smart remarks like, you want me to teach people about honey, you know what I mean? Which was kind of, Mr. Wonderful. Lori said that he was great and but difficult to sell, honey with spices. She's not sure she would get back the investment, so she was out. Barbara had a really good idea. She said he should do crowdfunding, that he didn't need Shark Tank. That, with his passion about bunnies, with his process, he could have probably got some money and still did it. But I think, why he was there, and we see more and more people on the Shark Tank just for
mentorship.
Yeah, like he wanted mentorship, which what 16-year-old wouldn't want mentorship from that age,
Totally, yeah.
And then Mark starts talking, and then Robert starts talking, and Mark says, wait, before you go out, which I thought was crazy. Robert was going to go out, and Mark was just like, before you go out, let's try and make a deal together. Which I thought was pretty interesting. And they wanted to give him the original thing was $300,000 for 60%. And Mark said he sees an idea, he sees an opportunity, and he kind of wanted to go for it. And I feel like, which I've never seen Robert do either, because Robert's usually not the greedy one at all. And maybe it's not greedy, maybe they understand a lot more work, a lot more of what's going to go into it than we do.
Right. But he's like, no, I won't do it for 60. I want 75%. And sorry,
yeah.
Steph just got violent for a second.
And then he went out to his parents, and he didn't go out to his parents afterwards because he was like, my parents trust me and believe me, and he just took the deal.
Right.
Which is crazy.
I kind of wish he tried to negotiate a little
tiny bit, yeah.
Because I feel like he could have gotten them down to
like 70 65.
Like, totally. I think he could have done that, and I wish he did that. But I think it was really mature of him that he was able to make the decision on his own. And I love the fact that Mark was like, if this is what you want to do, and if you want this to be your business and you want to build it and you want to do it your own way, please don't take this deal.
Right.
But if you want to make a deal, let's do it.
Right. So he takes the deal. for $300,000 for 70% of the 75% of the company. He goes out, sees the parents. I cried. I cried too. I cried, and then the mom said, "Oh, honey," and then they said, "Is that a pun?" I thought that was so well played.
We weren't the only ones on Twitter. Everyone was like, "Who else just got teary-eyed?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
Okay, I know we don't have that much time, but I kind of want to do just a quick news, Phil. How do we feel about that?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so the flashback we did on this episode was to Ryan's Bakery for the dog treats. In a place in Connecticut, they went and they sold them. It was pretty cool. They were going from $900 in 5 months of sales to, since Shark Tank, they've had $70,000 worth of sales, which I thought was cool. It was really great. But what I did want to mention a little bit as well is that Lori released a book this week. It's called Invent It, Sell It, Bank It. And
invent it, sell it, bank it.
Invent it, sell it, bank it.
Yeah.
Invent it, sell it, bank it. And
Exactly.
she was on The View this week. It was great to watch. It was great to hear her speak. She also, while she was on The View, she also did some recaps that I thought were interesting as well. Scrub Daddy, since Shark Tank, has had $15 million in sales.
That's insane.
Insane. Also on there was the corduroy beanbag chair that she acquired.
Yeah.
It was $200,000 for 58% of the company. And in a year since, she's done $3.5 million worth of sales. So it's crazy to see some of these other products that we don't actually see the flashback on Shark Tank. We got to see on The View. So that was
exciting.
really, really exciting. That about wraps it up. I think anything else anyone wants to add?
Nope, I'm good.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What do you think about next week? Did you see the coming attractions?
I saw the coming attractions, but they didn't really give me anything.
It looks to me like there's going to be a couple big deals. Like there's going to either be people asking for big money or getting big money. That was kind of it. Oh, something else in the news that I thought was really funny. I don't know if you guys watched this show, but Castle this week, another ABC show, in one of their, it's like a crime show, in one of their things, they had it that like they were looking for a guy who was one of the sharks on the shark pool, and it was like a spin-off to the Shark Tank.
Really?
It was really, really funny and entertaining to see. Yeah. But yeah, next week, pretty much I think a couple big deals, but I'm not quite sure. It was a little bit,
Yeah, I
it
didn't
wasn't
really
too
get
telling.
much from it.
Anything? Did you see anything, Phil, that we're missing?
No, I mean, you never tell the products, you know what I mean?
Right.
They just kind of go, so, but as always, excited to see it.
Yes. Okay, that about wraps our show up. You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Stef Z. Where can we find you guys?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias, MissZias. And Phil is not on Instagram or Twitter. Just kidding.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Phil actually has a Twitter too. He's just super private about it. Thank you guys so much.
I just don't tweet. I'm not private about it. I just don't tweet.
I hear you. I don't tweet that much either. All right, thank you guys for watching. Send your comments and questions. Have a great night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
See you later.
Buzz and bees, humdinger.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.